If this was last season, Manchester United don't win this game. They go 1-0 down, the crowd gets anxious, the tempo becomes desperate, and you know what? More often than not, that game would have ended in frustration. But today, they went behind, they lost a key player in Luke Shaw, they were handed a controversial lifeline, and instead of buckling under pressure, they grew up. And most importantly, this wasn't a beautiful win, this was a mature win, and this was a much needed win. Welcome to PN Playbook and another episode of analyzing the game of Manchester United playing Palace today. The game ended almost 30 minutes back, and what a game that was. It all took only 4 minutes, the first 4 minutes. That's all it was taken. Lecroc rises, header 1-0 to Palace. And suddenly, the entire emotional temperature of Old Trafford changes. And it's so visible. Now, here's the real question. When your plan collapses in minute 4, who are you? For a while, United looked like the United who played under Ruben Amorim because they looked rapid, passes were rushed, attacks were forced, there was no rhythm. Forget even the rhythm being broken. Then comes the horror. 24th minute, Luke Shaw goes off injured and replaced by Mazraoui. Now you're chasing the game and adjusting your shape. Suddenly, you lost one of the most important players in your left back. This is exactly the kind of scenario that used to unravel at United for the last 2 years. But today, they didn't implode. They absolutely absorbed it. They liked this pressure. More importantly, it showed they were up for the fight. And here's something subtle that matters because before the penalty, before the red card, United were already building pressure. Now, when I say building pressure, United weren't dominant. Okay, United weren't brilliant in the sense of, oh, I'm going to attack so much that they will crumble. No, they were putting pressure because Bruno tested Henderson. Sesko started getting half a chance, half a look. Casemiro missed a big chance. They weren't sharp, but suddenly Palace realized, you know what? I think United are growing into the game. And thinking about Palace, they recently played a midweek game in the Europa. They just weren't up for it. And Man United weren't broken either. And that distinction is everything because fragile teams need miracles. Stable teams wait for moments. And Manchester United bid their time and waited for the moment. Now, let's actually address the elephant in the room. And I'm sure a lot of people will argue about. Bruno slips Cunha through. Lecrox makes the contact. It starts outside, continues inside. Cunha takes full advantage of it, goes down, and penalty, red card. VAR took almost 3 minutes in analyzing what exactly happened. Some people are going to call it clever. Some people might even call it soft. Other people might even say, oh, yeah, he tried to dive it. But here is my take on it. VAR did not win United this game, right? VAR definitely opened the door. And that's what separates serious teams from chaotic teams. It is what they do when the door opens. Bruno Fernandes forced from the spot, game reset, and now the pressure flips. Now, the moment the pressure flipped, we all saw Palace started breaking down. Kamada started playing all sorts of nonsense balls. Uh, Even the Crystal Palace forward started trying to drop deep. Strand Larson, who I thought had a decent game, but then eventually he kind of lost his team. This is where most teams get it wrong. When they face 10 men and think game over, then they slow down. That's exactly what happened to Palace. They slowed down even further. In fact, when they slowed down further, Man United saw, okay, they're losing intensity here. Let's capitalize on it. If you think about it, during our game against Everton at Old Trafford, where we lost 1-0, we just shut down. But this time it wasn't the case because they get impatient. United didn't. They made the pitch wider, they circulated quicker, and they stopped forcing the killer pass every 20 seconds. Instead of hunting chaos, United built control. And that's a mindset shift. That is exactly what happened because of Bruno Fernandes. There was a time where we as fans used to get frustrated with Bruno Fernandes because Bruno Fernandes meant drama. Today, he meant control. Yes, he scored the penalty, but look deeper than that. That through ball for Cunha, the delivery for Sesko, the tempo management after 1-1. He wasn't frantic as usual. He was measured. This is a sign of a guy who's in great mental space. And when your captain stops chasing the game, the team starts to evolve from the game. In fact, the team stops chasing the game and they start controlling it. Let me give you a stat that tells the whole story, all right, about the whole game. 7 touches in the first half. 7. Okay. Most players often go missing in it, but strikers go deeper in their own shells. But remember what happened in the game. Benjamin Sesko did not complain because when strikers start disappearing, then eventually the game drops off. Benjamin Sesko did not drop too deep, did not drift aimlessly. He waited, and then came the moment. He attacked it, Bruno cross, front post movement, header, goal. Now that's not a super sub goal, that's a number 9 arriving goal. So I can safely say Air Sesko has arrived at Old Trafford. Even at 2-1, it wasn't a very smooth game. There were nervy moments, there was late pressure. Tension was very visible in the stadium. But here is the difference United didn't crumble under it, they managed it. And managing chaos is a great skill. Bruno Fernandes today has been absolutely phenomenal. If I had to call out certain people who were absolutely phenomenal, were Kobe Mino was phenomenal today, Bruno Fernandes was phenomenal today, Benjamin Sesko, one of the best games I have seen from a number 9 who didn't have a great deal in the first half, but then come second half till the 56th, 57th minute, he started growing into the game. Anyone can look impressive when the game goes according to plan. The real test is what happens when you concede early. You lose a key player, you rely on a controversial decision, and then the game turns messy. Old United would have argued with that moment. This United has started to use those moments. And if they keep winning games like this, it won't be performance people remember. It will be the pattern. In cricket, we say that Australia don't win a game because they're good. They win a game because they know how to win the game. Remember, ugly wins don't build highlights, they build season. United are third on the Premier League table right now. We play only one game. In 4 days' time, we are going to play Newcastle away, a stadium which traditionally has been one of the most difficult stadiums to play for us. And Newcastle right now don't look in form. This is the perfect chance for Manchester United, Michael Carrick, and the boys to look into the top 2 in the Premier League and say, look, we may not win the Premier League, but we are definitely not going to make it easier for anyone getting into the top 5 race. Yesterday's series of games has kind of opened the door for Manchester United. Villa losing to Wolves, Liverpool winning 5-1, Chelsea are going to play Arsenal. Chelsea have a series of difficult games coming up. United's difficult games will start. Post the Newcastle game, we have almost 2 weeks or a week's break, I think, till the 15th of March before we play Aston Villa. Players will get a good rest. They will restart. But most importantly today, if Manchester United fans try and argue saying that, hey, it wasn't a very dominant win, we weren't great, so on and so forth. Remember one thing. Sometimes you don't need to dominate a game to get 3 points. The pressure was on Man United to get 3 points today. And guess what? Benjamin Sesko wins it again for Manchester United. If you like such kind of analysis and you want to see more of Manchester United and want me to speak more about Manchester United, like, share, and subscribe the video. Thank you.